What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on PC Building Simulator. Now, I'm starting off this episode in free build because I actually wanted to show off a couple of the newest and latest and greatest things that came with the most recent patch, because since the last episode, the developers have put out another fairly significant patch with a lot of bug fixing and other things. Two of the major things that for me were really big things that I was hoping they would do. First of all is in free build, you'll see these free build options menu now. And when you click here, you can actually activate all of the upgrades that's available to you in the career mode. I mentioned this in the first episode, I think, where there's auto connect tools, quick screws, quick cabling, auto standoff, etc. and so on to make your creative builds go faster, which I always felt like should have happened, and apparently the devs agreed, or they got enough feedback that, you know, it was like, yeah, we need to do this. So, because I always thought it was weird that in free build where you can do whatever you want, this wasn't available to you, and it is now. There's also an option to reset your workshop in PC, so if you did a bunch of builds and you have a bunch of just loose crap in your inventory, or it's in your storage cabinet or anything like that, you can reset it and build new ones. However, the absolute largest, biggest thing available to us at this point, I'm going to show up, see there's the auto blah blah blah. Let's see, we're going to need to take out these two, is a dual GPUs. That is right. So now you can do two GPUs with an SLI bridge. Now granted, this auto did everything because, well, it's auto doing stuff. So this is something that I was really expecting to have already been in the game, and I was actually a little bit surprised that it wasn't in the game when I first got it. But now you can do dual. Now you can't do two or more, to my knowledge. I believe you can only do two at the moment. But still, it's a big leap because before you couldn't do the dual. So I'm going to take this one out just because it is still kind of been my kind of template for... Oh, and I've run into this before where it has a... Unless this is the wrong cover, but it has this weird thing where sometimes it doesn't let you put the PCI covers back on. I don't know if it's because I'm just grabbing the wrong ones from the different builds or what, but some cases really don't like you putting those back in. For some reason. It's weird. Anyways, with that, that's the new latest and greatest stuff from the most recent patch, so let's get back to our actual career episode. Alright, and we're back in the dark, where I left you guys last time. So, let's turn on the lights first. I was going to show you some stuff, but... So, in the last episode, I don't know if we ordered parts and stuff. I think we did. So you guys should be used to this. I don't remember what we were doing. So luckily the game tells us what we were doing. Fix Woodward, replace motherboard. Now, see, this is where the, this is where the whole auto remove stuff would be really cool. So we'll take that off. We will need to take the CPU out, because as far as I know, there's nothing wrong with that. Take the RAM out. Actually, the most annoying part to motherboards removal, in this game anyway, is the standoff, that it makes you do the standoff stuff, which is kind of aggravating. Can I get to this cable? Come on, I don't want to remove the cover. Oh, I got it. Alright, now we can remove that. See, you have to do the screws. This part's annoying. More so annoying is the standoffs, because I'm like, I get screwing it in. I'm putting the same one back. I don't want to have to do these again. Whatever. I guess that's where the perks of being rich enough to afford the auto standoff and everything is from. Alright, so now, motherboards. We're just going to sell the broken one because we don't need it. And we'll put this back in. This is the only bad part about, like, saving the game. Coming back to it is like you forget where you were at and what you were doing. It's like, whoops. It's like I took those other two. There's two other computers there, and I don't even remember what they're for. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and handle... Oh, this is the other thing, is if you take parts out that are still good, or if they're part of a build, but like this, there was nothing wrong with them, so you're just supposed to put them back, there will be a little sticky note, which it's the property of whoever the email thing is. As you can see up in the corner there, with the PC not turning on and what the problem is and blah, blah, blah. Now, the one part I myself always seem to forget, at least in this game, is thermal paste. Okay, cooling, there you are. So we'll put you back down. RAM? And I don't know why, this is something that just kind of bugs me. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but all of the computers that you get, for the most part, they always have their RAM in sequential order, which typically, I don't know that it doesn't happen, but every tower I've ever seen, they always go alternate. Actually, in some cases, it's even this and this one. And you don't even use the first one. It's like A2 and B2 kind of thing. But I've still only ever seen them work in alternating, like, every other slot. So that kind of bugs me. It doesn't affect the game at all. The game doesn't do anything with it. But it kind of bugs me that that's how it's set up. Okay. I think that's about it. So now we just need to replace all the cabling. Like I said, I think I mentioned this in the last episode, though. I hope at some point they get into detail with, like, the SATA plugs and stuff, having a 1, 2, 3, you know, that kind of thing. I hope they get that detailed. I don't really know. I have not really heard anything on how detailed the devs actually intend to get it. Like, I know it's in early access, but I don't know what their end game goal is for the game itself. So I am kind of curious about that, as to at what point is it complete, like what functionality does it need to have? Hello? Missing cables. What am I missing? That's weird. Oh! Oh, the tower. Okay. Whew! The tower case. That's cool. I was kind of like, what am I missing here? Apparently that. Now, this is the other thing. There is the level of gaminess to it, like that you can just grab this and it doesn't matter. I don't know if you would have to put the case back together. I feel like you do, but I don't know if any of you guys have played this and put the case back together and then they're like, no, the client never says anything about it. I don't know. Okay. Alright, are you available to upgrade my computer? I want 4 gigabytes of RAM. Can you run the 3D Mark to check that there's enough power? Check that there's enough power. Yeah, whatever. It's just the 4 gigs. Some of the wording there is a little weird. I think it's intentional, as in, like, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. Power King. This was a power unit one, I believe. Power King 600, I think, is a PSU. Okay. That's the wrong way. This is a weird case. I don't think I've ever actually seen this one before. What the heck? This is... I don't think I've actually seen this case, even in the game. But this is the weirdest layout I have ever seen. It's like everything is upside down. That is so weird. Oh, look at this, too. That's fun. Oh, the cables look all scrunchy. That's weird. I do believe I remember hearing something about eventually you can tell that the game auto cables stuff, even without the auto cable upgrade. It just kind of plugs them in and routes them itself. I do think they mentioned eventually getting to the point where you'd have to handle your own cable management, which is an interesting idea. I think that's kind of cool. I'm going to hang on to that. It's not always a good idea to sell stuff that's used, though they did nerf that quite a bit. I guess that's all I needed. There was 8 screws before, but whatever. Guess don't need to do that. Motherboard. This guy. Connect the case. Wait, where's that going? The heck? Where's this guy? Huh? Oh, that's the actual power outlet. Okay. It said connect case, so I was thinking it was the case cable. Actually, there was one that goes down there, isn't there? Yeah, there's this guy. What is this plugging into? I'm very confused by this case. In case you haven't noticed, this case confuses me. What is this thing plugging into? All the power's over here. Oh, I see. Okay, it's a case cord that runs... Wait, where did that go? Uh-oh. I broke stuff. Oh, okay. So that's the back outlet. But there's one right there, and then that runs under and connects to the power unit. So it's like an extension cable because the power unit is not right next to the cables plug. That's funky. That's really, really weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And this is, I think, the first time in the episodes that I've had to run the 3D Mark thing. You're about to see why I always boot up the thing and get it running before I mess with anything, because this is probably one of the most annoying things about the game in terms of time. It takes a minute. So you have to boot this up. Oops. You have to run it. Now, as you can see, it's running really slow because this isn't a great computer, but you can walk away. You just don't want to mess with this too much as far as, like, start unhooking things. But this is very convenient for then putting the case back together because it takes you a minute. The thing's got to run anyway. You might as well. But this is one of the biggest reasons people will buy a second workbench. Because even after I'm done with this, this is still going to run for a minute. Like so. So now we are basically done, but this is not. And I don't think I can actually click on this at this point. Once you walk away, if you click into it, it cancels the test and you have to do it all over again, so I wouldn't recommend it. But normally while this is doing that, you could come over here and then start working on something else. So typically the 3D Mark thing is the reason you'd want multiple workbenches, is you can, you know, maximize your time by working on different projects at the same time. So this one we're doing. So the next one here is apply thermal paste. Oh yeah, we had to eat this one. That's no fun. This one's in transit, so we'll have to see what this guy does, or what our next client is after this one. But see, like now I could be taking this all apart and putting thermal paste on and be done with it probably before this is actually over. Obviously, the better your machine is, the quicker it'll get done with the test. But it is what it is. This is just a really weird case. I don't think I've ever seen one like that before, even in the game. Like, that's even considering the game. Ooh, frame rate. I have it currently set on Fantastic, I think, because it was doing pretty well for me. But lately, since the most recent patch with the dual GPUs, I've also seen that now it does seem to be a little more jagged lately. So I'm kind of wondering if I'll have to knock it back down to, if I'll have to knock it back down to like ultra or high or something like that. I'm assuming it's just because it's new and it's not optimized and they're working on features and things and not optimizations at this time. Probably. The first one that they did, though, they did a major update thing. And the first one that they did, the first upgrade that they did, or update, whatever you want to call it, patch, it actually did make the game run a lot smoother to where I went back to Fantastic, but now after they did this most recent patch, I'm kind of back to not sure. If you get too complicated of a machine, sometimes it'll do weird stuff. Alright. So we'll go ahead and put this back on, and then this should be done as soon as it's done running the benchmark. Okay. So now, while we're waiting on that one, we can collect on this one and get our next one. Maybe. Maybe? No? Curious. Normally, as soon as you accept one, you'll get another one. That's really weird. I can't say I've ever had that happen before. Maybe there's just not that many for it to do, and so we're only going to get another one after this. One thing we can do... We're at 1700. Does it tell you the date? There should be like a calendar app in here. Oh, wait. We just got this one, so it is the 5th. We need to have... Need to pay the utility on the 10th, which is probably about a couple hundred, I think, if my memory serves. 500 we need by the 25th. Because I'm thinking of getting one of the upgrades here under tools. We could get the quick connect, or the auto connect, which it does come in handy. Oh, we could also get, before we do that, we're almost at a level 3. I think it's about 1800 to do a second workbench. I probably should do that before I get the auto cabling. Okay, so this is done. So now we'll leave this by the door. Okay, and collect. There. Oh, we leveled up. Yay! So now we're at a 3. And we get more stuff. Oh, good grief. I've been playing a great sailing simulation game, but while my computer will just about run it... Wait. I've been playing a great simulation game, but while my computer will just about run it, but if I turn up the graphics, the frame rate drops. Well, duh. I used a program called Will It Run to see what I needed, and it seems that while my PC is okay for the min spec, the recommended spec needs a better GPU. Can you have a look for me, please? I'm going to go ahead and accept this, but we're going to need a program for this. Where? Tools. Will it run it? So that costs about 200, which is fine. Now there is one trick to this. You don't actually have to run the system, or the program on the system in question. So when I get this, this is actually instant. There's no shipping, so I'll just buy it. So one thing you can do is you can install this on your main Office computer and compare the stuff. I'm going to go through, let's accept this. This job requires you to run. So this is the first time I've done this, so I mean on this playthrough, so this is why this is coming up. Job requires you to use the Will It Run It program that can be purchased from the shop to check the specs, blah, 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 blah. No, I don't want to restart right now. Okay. Thank you for fixing my PC. Since you added the thermal paste, it is running nicely. I didn't realize the business is under new ownership. A good thing, too, I think. I've been impressed with your timely fixing of this issue, so I'm happy to give you another chance. I shall recommend you to anyone that needs work. Dr. Waterman. Thank you. This is in transit now, I guess. What's this one? Oh, this guy. So this is kind of hilarious. This is one of those, the storyline moves forward. I am Blake Patterberg, and I'm one of the core team over at Movie Maniacs, the world's number 53 website in the UK for movie news and reviews. With the upcoming release of the next highly anticipated blockbuster in the Frondbuster Cinematic Universe, FCU, I'm trying to refresh my memory of the previous films. Frondbuster. What is a Frond, by the way? Frondbuster. What is that? Frondbuster, Frondbuster 2, and 3, Frondamania. Frondbuster 4, Fondly Remembered, and the much maligned spin-off Archibald and the Spinning Cups, a Frondbuster story. Oh, jeez. I already own all the collector's edition on Blu-ray, but I'd like to rip them to my computer for a more complete frame-by-frame analysis. Sadly, I don't currently have enough hard drive space to do so. Could you increase my storage capacity to suit? Another terabyte should do the trick. Blake Patterberg, Assistant Junior Moderator, Movie Maniacs Action. Sure, why the heck not? Okay, so all these are in transit, so we can go ahead and reboot the system now. Or shut it down, I guess. Just don't mind me, I just work here. So now, what I was saying about this is normally, when you use will it run, so let's find the sailing simulator. Minecraft, sail away. So it tells you whether it matches the minimum or recommended or whatever. There's actually a couple of these types of programs and sites and stuff that are actually online. Some aren't as trustworthy as others. I don't remember which one are the good ones, but there are a couple of these. Anyways, the point to this is that you can go to the recommended and see that the minimum for the recommended specs is the Shein GeForce GTX 970. So no matter what the guy has that he's sending, you need this one, basically, or a minimum. So if you can't run it recommended and wants you to run it recommended, and he said it was the GPU, let me just double check. Yeah, needs a better GPU. So with that, where's the shop? Let's just put in 970, and we need a Shein GTX 970. So this is the cheapest one, so it will do. And we'll do next day delivery. Now, I could do other stuff, like the hard drive ones and stuff like that, but I want to see what he's got to work with first. I could do the RAM, same thing. Okay, let's turn you off, and we'll leave. Sorry, it looked like there was a... It looks like I had left a... It looked like I had left a computer there, and I did not. I actually wonder, since turning the lights on and off is supposed to change your light bill, I wonder if actually powering off your computer before you leave does anything either. Alright, so there's that. Upgrade the RAM. Let's try this guy. Okay, oh, and we're level 3 now. What does this cost? 1,500. Alright, so we can probably do that pretty quickly here in the near future. Alright, we'll remove the PCI lock there, and see, yeah, this is not probably good enough. Now, in theory, I should see this turn green as soon as this gets all hooked up. I don't know. I might have to run it on the system just because. But it is a little bit easier to be able to know what you need before you actually do all that. I'm wondering if it has to run this just so that the information is accurate. Like, it's kind of like jumping a hurdle kind of thing. And that may be something they actually changed, because originally you didn't need to. It usually would just work anyway. And that was kind of a quicker workaround that you didn't have to do all this for. They may have changed this in the patch, much like they changed the ability to throw in any old part as long as it worked when it came to upgrades, or not upgrades, or fixing things and stuff like that. What? Did I buy the wrong one? I could have swore I put in 980 or 970. Did I not? Uh-oh. Did I buy the wrong thing? No, it's right there. Shein GeForce GTX 970 Gamer. Huh? Oh, you have. So apparently I have the same thing in we're just gonna put this over on the shelf real quick. Okay, so wow, that alright, I need a 980. Oh, jeez. Alright. This says NVIDIA, but I don't have NVIDIA, so I'm guessing that's gonna do the same thing. It's still a GeForce. Alright, we're gonna add that to the cart. We'll leave that because I need to figure out what I need on this one as well. Okay. How much RAM does he have? He has a Mortoni 2 and he wants to go to 4. So I will need another one of these guys. And we're going to shelve you for a second as well. Since I'm ordering stuff, I might as well figure out what all I need. And we're probably not going to be able to do our workbench this episode because of all these guys that don't want things just fixed, but they need something like upgraded, and it's costing me. Alright, so we have a 500 and he wants to go up to 1500, so that means I need a terabyte drive. Alright, so there, well, let's see, it's 60 for a terabyte. Order 2 500s. 50, yeah, so that doesn't help. Alright, so 400 next day. It's not worth it to do same day, there's no due dates on these. Alright. Now we don't get any new assignments because we didn't complete these assignments, so yeah. It's so dark. Yeah, so now we're back to 800. I cannot believe I got the wrong graphics card. That's so bad. Okay. Let's get this guy going. Alright, we'll cable you up. That's so bad. I cannot believe I did that. Just goes to show you, don't be in a hurry and double check your stuff. Also, not feeling like you know everything. That's usually another... I was like, I got this. I've done this a million times. Bought the wrong thing. I would like to point out, though, it's probably accurate that you don't need to install it on the system if you just know... if you just get the right part. That should be enough. Okay. So that one's good. Put you over there. What's next? Let's do this guy again. Oh, wait, no, that's not the right one. This is the RAM one. Also, make sure you're working on the right computer. Oh, he wants it benchmarked. Pooh. I hate these. I wish there was a, like there's these auto-connect tools and stuff like that. I wish there was a speed up the benchmark thing. I guess that's part of the game, though. It's probably kind of one of those things that makes it a little bit more... I hesitate to say realistic, but just gives you something more to do and a reason for multiple workbenches. All that kind of stuff is needing to make sure it's benchmarked. Also, because, you know, technically, it's probably not a bad idea. I've never run a benchmark like that on my own systems before, but it's probably not a bad idea to like, make sure your thermal paste and all that kind of stuff is working, is to stress it and see what it does. While we're working on this, let's go ahead and... We're doing that one. We're doing that one. Ready to boot. Okay, so we can collect on this one. And we'll probably get another... Yep. I'm thinking I need to upgrade my PC, so the CPU definitely needs upgrading. I'd like 8 gigs of RAM. It might need a bit of a clean. So upgrade CPU, upgrade to 8, and clean it out. Now, this is an interesting one because it says upgrade. And it doesn't really tell you what to upgrade it to. Obviously, there's certain parts where you're like, I just know that is 10 times better. But this is where I've learned, this is where the part ranking tool comes in. This is pretty pricey, but I might want to get it ahead of time before we get into multiple benches and things like that. The reason being, I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's the smartest move or not, but we're going to get it. Okay, we're also going to install it. The reason being, this actually tells you the way the game ranks it, so you can know exactly what you need to get and what's considered better by comparing the parts. And I'll show you what I mean by that momentarily. So this one's ready, so we can collect on this one. Hopefully we can kind of compensate for our loss with the graphics card and with the other thing. I still can't believe I did that. Now you can sell these. Like I could turn around and go to graphics cards and I could sell the 970 for 88, and I might do that to get a little bit back. I may hang on to these because then if they need an upgrade and it happens to be better, then I'll just do that. So we need to remove that other PCI bay. Alright, 980. Now there are some things like making sure your power unit can house this and stuff that a lot of times it just works, but in real stuff you actually... And see, you can tell that it went green already, so it already knows. That's what I was meaning by you don't need to install it on their machine. Saves you another reboot. I did because I got the wrong thing and I didn't realize it. Okay, so boot that up. We will put the lock back on here. And I believe they have added, like this, that PCI cover, you're not going to use it so you can sell it. It comes out at 0, but it does clear it from your inventory. So that's another useful little tool. Alright, so that's good. And we'll collect on these two. Collect. New parts, so we have... Ooh, we got to the Horizon 3s. Nice. Alright, is that it? Okay. So what do we got here? This is another interesting story. This is kind of funny. Hey, as you are no doubt aware, it's nearly the 15th anniversary of beloved cult classic Babes of Planet Bathamore. 'Cause that's a thing. You would think the powers that be would have used the opportunity to release a 4K remaster, but no, they haven't even reissued the old DVD, which now commands a high price at auction online. It's like they don't want money. Now that the old DVD is... Not that the old DVD is any good, by the way. The film transfer is super noisy compared to the much superior Laserdisc home release, and they completely ruined the iconic underwater dance number with stupid CGI fish. Stupid looking. Doesn't sound like they're making fun of any other kinds of, you know, stuff. Anyways, I wanted to host a viewing for my friends, but my own Laserdisc was sadly destroyed when a pile of imported Japanese horror film steelbooks fell on it. That's just a weird sentence. So I was forced to use less legal means to get a copy in time for the day itself. Now, I'm no stranger to venturing into the darker side of the internet if necessary, and it's perfectly safe if you know what you're doing. After all, just like Captain Cartwright said in the film, we explore planet Bathamore not because we are merely curious, but because we must see what lies beyond. And what a great character, am I right? I'll never understand how he didn't clinch the top spot in Movie Maniac's top 100... I don't even know what that word is. Proselytizing protagonist list. I don't even know if that's a real word. If it is, let me know. Anyway, my computer has a virus now. Could you run a scan or something and remove it? Thanks. Sure, no problem there. Do you work with computers? No, I just run a repair shop for, you know, kicks. I need you to repair my rig. My files are all gone. Could you repair the hard drive? Can you get it done by the 22nd? 13 days. This is the first one that we've seen, but this does actually have a deadline, so that's important to keep in mind when you have ones that have deadlines. Before we wrap up this episode, I wanted to show you how the part ranking system works. So it goes by graphics cards and CPUs. So for example, when we saw the Shein GeForce 970, if somebody said they needed an upgrade, you could have put in an MSI GTX 970 LE, which is just one bracket up, and the game would consider it an upgrade because of how it's ranking it. I didn't realize that at first, and there was one job that I went through like 3 different parts trying to upgrade it, and I was like, I know this is an upgrade, but it wasn't done in the way the part ranking system works, so that's another useful tool to have in your build. Okay, so with that, we've collected all of our stuff for this episode, for this workday, and so on and whatnot. So I think it's time to end the episode here, so we're going to wrap things up for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.